following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
And I'm ready to go crazy because the Celtics are going all the way.
Hey, Nick, go handle our light work.
Bowl games matter.
I would like a cold cut sandwich.
Boy,
You can call him Eamon Owens because he ain't got no D and he ain't got no J.
James Madison.
Turn your body cams off. Do what you do.
Hey, everybody, what is going on? It is Tuesday night. That means it's time for another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I'm Mike. That's Scott. Skeleton crew today. No Mookie tonight. It's old school style. It's black and crayon, baby. How you doing, Scott?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. How are you, sir?
Oh, just realized that I haven't put together any of the tweets and posts that we're supposed to do when we go live, and I'm trying to scramble to do that as we're introing the show, and the comment section is being a bunch of jack-offs already. It's great. It's really fun.
I'll fill in for Mookie and be like, well, why didn't you have that stuff done pre-show?
Yeah.
Like that stuff should have been ready. Like, don't you do that every week? Did you just forgot?
Yeah. I did the Twitter one and then didn't do any of the Facebook posts and then started scrambling because dad pops, man. It's dad pops. That's why. That's the reason.
Solid enough reasoning.
Yeah, that's the reason for everything this week. We are hopefully having Chris Cooper from Jell-O Brewing on the show tonight, which Joe Hall, that's why get your fucking panties untwisted. That's why you didn't get an invite because we've got Coop potentially coming on. So we will hopefully be talking to him later on. Scott, check your mic input there, man, because it feels like
damn it. Am I doing that? I knew something. I knew it. Yeah.
There we go.
Holy shit, there it is. Mike.
God bless America. I knew it. I was sitting there clicking everything pre-show, and I was like, I feel like there's something I'm missing. I don't know. But I was trying to do it. I realized I always put up the green screen first and then connect the computer and do all this stuff. Well, I plugged in the computer first and then did the green screen. But I sat down at the computer and was like, oh, I'll do all this stuff, and then I'll just do that and walk out. I forgot something. My bad. I'm fucking amateur hour over here.
All good, man. No worries at all. We got an awesome show tonight, guys. I don't know if you guys realize this, but last night, Cesar Celtics did the damn thing. They brought home the championship, and we gave him so much shit last year for the Celtics losing to the Heat. He rode so hard for the Celtics. So to see them win last night, exactly the same day as their last championship in 2008 when they beat the Lakers. It was the exact same day on 6/17 and also 6/17 is Boston's area code. A lot of cool coincidences there, but we'll talk about their dominant run throughout the playoffs. Also, Scott, WNBA, goodness gracious, man. It's all anybody could talk about now.
That's all there is to talk about, man. That's all that matters. It started a race war, a new race war. I kind of love it. It's great.
I don't even want to talk about the game or the foul or what happened. I want to talk about the ridiculous,
the social implications of everything. Yeah. And everything. Yeah. It's amazing. Like it's been a while since I've seen something so over the top, but like I can't turn away. I'm like, this is entertaining.
It's so funny to see people who just aren't sure how to cover women's sports just be like, let's just make it a race thing. Let's just fire this like race, right? We could just go. All right, race, fire it up. Let's go. There's the
well, and not only that. I mean, if you think about how women's sports are kind of like evolving in the same way that men's sports. Men's sports dealt with the whole super racism thing. So maybe this is just the women's version of that. Like we're just, it's later, so it's different. It looks different. I mean, we're not, there's not coloreds only drinking fountains or anything, but this is their version of it, right? So we've just gotta power through, and then like 20 years from now, everything will be cordial and everything will be smooth. But hey, we might as well enjoy it now because this is good shit.
Injecting race into sports conversation. I'm like no other.
It is. Think about it. American sports and race. They go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Even when there is none, they've got to be like, you know what? We got to bring race into this.
Right. You know what would make this a more compelling matchup?
Ooh, they go Monty Burns hands and get all we'll talk that foul and the coverage that ensued afterwards. Also, AFC North on Hard Knocks in season. I got to talk Hard Knocks because I didn't realize, Scott, there's 3 different versions this year.
It's getting out of hand, I think. We've done too much on the Hard Knocks front.
I think it's time to start scaling it back. I feel like Liev Schreiber is just like, I need work. Can we get more versions? Like any type of Hard Knocks. I'm in, so I'm available. Just hit me up. And they're just like, we got you. We're going to send your kids through college. Also, Les Miles is suing LSU. We got to talk about that. And I found perhaps the greatest sports taunts that I've ever seen in my life. And we'll get to those a little bit later on, along with the Stanley Cup-date from Scott. Before we get to all those, though, let's talk about these beers that we were drinking tonight. We're rating them on Cesar scale, dog or no dog. Scott, what is in your mug? Is it a dog or not?
Well, I'm back in the lab again, and I thought that it was a good time to mix 2 ones, and they go together perfectly well. That's Taft's Raspberry Sorbet and Taft's Frisch's Strawberry Pie Ale. So I got a little strawberry, a little raspberry, and the tartness off of the 2, and the creaminess that the pie ale brought in there. Dude, I gotta tell you, they should combine these. This is one of those ones that I think that I've stumbled upon something, and since Taft's controls both of these right here, they need to just make this happen. It is amazingly a dog. Like the sweetness and the tartness blend perfectly. Because I would almost say, separating the 2, the raspberry one, I had that last week, and I said it kind of had that like feel of like a sour because it was that tart, and I enjoy it. I really like it. It's sweet enough that it's not a sour, but then the sweetness that the strawberry brings, combining them, man, it's the perfect match. It really is. So yeah, it's a dog all the way.
I am very impressed, and I love that Mookie is chiming in saying Scott really fascinates himself, a modern day Dr. Frankenstein.
Using words in the English language wrong, Mookie.
I think
Congratulations.
he meant fancies.
Got words wrong again. They be hard.
By the way, can we just pause for a second and look at Mookie's picture here? What a fake he is with his shirt and tie, smiling LinkedIn profile.
That's the most LinkedIn photo of all time.
This phony. Look at this here with the cheesy grin, Mr. Professional.
The comb over. This looks like the you versus the real you meme thing. This is the you, like the fake ass Mookie. And then we need to side by side this with one of his versions where he's just like just taking a big drag right as the show starts.
Well, this is LinkedIn Mookie, and then you've got like Instagram Mookie, and that's the one where he's in his vest where we roasted him for an entire show after the HOA meeting, and then you've got Facebook Mookie, and that's him with the hair after the beer mile run, like the dude from Kingpin. Like those are the Mookies that we have all come to know and love. And you're right, Scott. Then there's the taking a big old rip.
That's the one that says that I really fascinate myself. It sounds like the only way you can hear that is like in a real Southern drawl. He's one of them guys that really fascinates himself, one of them Frankensteins, by mixing his beers, don't he? Yeah, old fancy pants over there.
People be like us and just drink a beer out of a can like God intended, okay? You over here fascinating yourself with all these different mixtures. What are you, some type of mixturologist?
Oh man, I do fascinate myself though.
You
at least twice a day.
You fascinate me with these mixtures that you come up with. Gabe is drinking Freak of Nature Imperial IPA from Wicked Weed Brewing, 8.5% ABV. He said it's a dog, especially with the green can. R.I.P. Cesar. I wish we didn't have green screens, or I would have been rocking green for Cesar tonight. Rex said he was rolling down in the lazy river earlier, and now he's sipping on gin and juice by Dr. Dre and Snoop Citrus, 5.9% ABV. Tastes what like a hard Sprite would taste like. It's a dog
with the D-O-double-G.
That's a must find. I was
just gonna say, I'm like, where did we find this, Rex? Because when they said it was coming, I figured it would be one of those things that would be hard to find in our area, at least for sure.
Yeah.
So I need to know where I can find this.
You know what's not hard to find now, Scott? Side quest here for a second. What's not hard to find is the Mike Tyson gummies that are shaped like ears. Because I'm just getting targeted ads on Instagram daily now for Tyson 20, and it's the gummies, the Mike Bites, I think is what they're called. And I never thought I would have seen those in the wild. And here we are.
That's amazing that it's targeted you. They're like, you enjoy the gummies? Here, try these.
We've seen you 20 minutes into the show. You might appreciate these.
You look like a man who has impeccable timing.
Jared said it's 90 degrees in Connecticut right now. 2 cans of Busch Light Peach and a big ass frosted mug.
By the way, where is it not 90 degrees? Because earlier I saw the heat map and I'm like, oh, cool. At least it's not just us. Like it's the entire upper northwest of the continent is just under a heat wave.
I love that the people in the UK are like, we're bracing for a big heat wave. It's going to be 79 this week.
Oh,
I'm like, wow, that's great. It was like that at 4 a.m. this morning. Take your 79 and go pound salt.
That was what it was like before we burned up all the ozone. We missed that.
Lauren said she hasn't watched since Cesar passed, but she knew we'd be talking about the Celtics win last night.
Heck yeah.
Just know he was courtside and so happy. Lauren, we texted Cesar's dad last night because there was no doubt like we would have been going nuts last night. So we all felt he was smiling back watching that game. All right, before I start crying, I am drinking Dad Pops, a collaboration. Craft Brewed Sports and Dead-Low Brewing. It's 7.3% ABV. It is hoppy. It hits you with the fruit aftertaste that like kills that harshness. It is so damn good, Scott. This is when we first talked about Dad Pops and we were like, this is what we want it to be. Dude, it's exactly how we envisioned it when we first like envisioned this beer. It's crazy to me how this came out. Big shout out, Coop. Loved this beer, and everybody that was out there on Sunday tried it, loved it too. Dad Pop's available at Dead-Low Brewing right now, so go check that out. Gabe asking what the can art is. It's not being canned, Gabe, so there is no can art. But if you wanted to, you could just imagine our logo on it, because that's what the can art would have been if we did can art. Do you feel like we missed the boat there, Scott? Like, should we have pressed Coop to be like, we got to can this?
Wow, I feel like we were pressing our luck with getting to do what we did. So I wanted the can art, but I thought that there was a very slim chance. Like seeing as how Dead-Low is, a smaller operation, that we were going to be able to do that. But it would have been cool as hell. I feel like we would have had to have the double logo where we had like our logo, courtesy of Tank and his amazing artwork. But then I feel like we need to throw the dog logo up there on the can as well. So we would have had that double-sided logo action if we did.
It sounds like the next beer that we collab and make, it just needs to be called That's a Bar.
Yes. And I was thinking that as we were having the conversation about the can art before, I'm like, how awesome would that be if the next one was just called That's a Bar?
Well, that needs to happen. Coop, hit us up. We'll talk in 3 years when we get to do that one. Let's start this show talking basketball. Boom shakalaka! Scott, I don't know about you, but last night, as I was watching the Celtics just absolutely dominate again, like this playoff run, it's so funny because going into the finals, I thought, they haven't really been tested. Mavs have been tested. This could hurt the Celtics. Didn't matter at all. Like, they coasted through the finals. Sure, there was that blip in Dallas, but they coasted throughout the entire playoffs, just destroying teams. And all I could hear in my head during that game was,
I'm ready to go crazy because the Celtics are going all the way.
That's all I heard over and over again was just Cesar going crazy. He had his AK and his AR. And
gosh.
Celtics went crazy. How did you feel watching that game last night? Like, it would, for me, this whole playoffs has been so anticlimactic, probably because of how dominant Boston has been the entire run. Like, it didn't feel entertaining in any way, but I loved seeing it happen for Cesar and seeing his team win the championship.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I was torn because I wanted the Celtics to win for Cesar, but man, I fucking hate the Celtics and that franchise and the city of Boston and that fan base. Not fans. Like it was always hard to reconcile that with Cesar, him and his Cowboys and him and his Celtics. It was just like, man, those are two teams and fan bases that I do not have a problem with losing all the time. So I would never bring myself to root for the Cowboys to win for anything, even for you, Cesar. Sorry. But I could find a small little smidgen of a place in my heart to get behind the C's doing what they did and doing it for Cesar. And it's super extra special that it happened when it did on the day that it did and just everything about it. I had picked Texas in March Madness as a tribute to Cesar to run the table in that, and obviously that was a very long shot, but this wasn't. And when the whole thing started, it looked like they would run through the East just based on how they had played, and I again kind of was like hoping, well, maybe Dallas will at least push it to 7 so I could feel good about like not rooting for, Boston having dominated. But outside of the one token game that they took their foot off the gas in this whole thing, it was pure domination. So good for Cesar. And that's it. Fuck the city of Boston and fuck that franchise and fuck everything else surrounding it, because I got no love for them.
I want to know, Scott, how bad do the 76ers and the Lakers feel watching Boston raise that trophy last night? Because in back-to-back drafts, in the 2017 draft and the 2018 draft, the order was the Sixers, the Lakers, the Celtics. All right? So that was the same order 2 years in a row. In 2017, the Sixers took Markelle Fultz, the Lakers took Lonzo Ball, and the Celtics took Jason Tatum. So both teams missed on that year. I take it back. That was 2017 and 2016. The two. In 2016, the Sixers took Ben Simmons, the Lakers took Brandon Ingram, and the Celtics took Jaylen Brown. So those two picks, who could have been with the 76ers, they both could have been with the Lakers. Both of those teams pass on those guys. Jaylen Brown balls out, looks like an animal, gets the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, gets the NBA Finals MVP, like absolutely dominates. Tatum, who has had moments where he's disappeared throughout playoff runs, has a solid game, not finals worthy and finals MVP worthy, but still like a very integral part of this team. So if you're a Lakers fan or a 76ers fan right now, Scott, how do you feel knowing you whiffed on both of those guys in back-to-back drafts?
I hope they feel the worst, because fuck both of those fan bases as well. Especially LA. Like the only way that I would root for Boston and actually mean it outside of wanting, to see happiness for Cesar is that they would be playing the Lakers. Like, that's the only fucking reason. And then it's just through gritted teeth and just because somebody has to win. I don't like myself. I don't like how I feel afterwards, but that's the only other So the fact that the Lakers could have had both of these guys and whiffed on both of them, and 76ers fans are whatever, but just the idea that they're Philly fans, because people forget. I feel like 76ers fans and Phillies fans get kind of separated, but no, let's not forget they're the same shitty human beings. And so while you may not really have any aversion to the 76ers, or you may not think twice about them, and they just may be whatever, just remember that those same fucks are also Phillies fans, they're also Eagles fans, and they're also the most horrible human beings that you will ever. So yeah, and again with the in the Philly case, while I don't have any real hate towards the franchise itself, it is funny the idea that they spent all that time tanking and manipulating things so that they could get the draft picks and take off and do more or less what Boston kind of ended up doing, and that's drafting the two top talents in these spots, and whiffed both times. Like the fact that they had that's special, man. I love it. I love it. It sucks that it happened for Boston.
The craziest thing is 2 teams whiffed, and it's the same 2 teams. Like, first of all, what are the odds that we're getting the same order 2 years ago?
Right.
Bananas. But then for both,
and then the same spot the players hit for the same franchise, because the third player that could have gone either one of those could have also just been kind of whatever, but they both happened to hit. That's wild. Again, unfortunate that it's Boston too, because I don't like to see them do well, but better than the other two, I suppose. The lesser of 2 evils, or 3 evils in this case. Yes.
Tyson said, "I feel like time is going to tell on Ben Simmons." I feel like it's already told, Tyson. I think we've got enough of a sample size on Ben Simmons now that we know he's not going to shoot a basketball. Like he's
ever.
Scott, this is where I would normally turn to Mookie and ask him what he thinks about these future lines, but I would be interested to see what you think about these, because the lines are already out for next season. You can bet on who is going to win the NBA championship next year. I'll give you the top 5. How's that sound? Does that sound
already? I'm ready for it.
Number 5, Dallas Mavericks at plus 1,000.
Okay.
Number 4, the Milwaukee Bucks at 950. Number 3, Oklahoma City Thunder at 850. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets at plus 800. And the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title next year, the Boston Celtics, plus 290. Like, it's not even close. Vegas is like, they're going again. Like, they're running this shit. Not even close, and that's going up. Like, the 3-time MVP is the second best odds in Denver. This is bananas. Are we about to see a Boston dynasty in basketball start up, Scott?
I hope not. That would be awful. The only thing worse would be an LA dynasty again. So let's hope not. I'm really hoping for those Oklahoma City odds to come in. Come on, Josh Gad.
Gabe said, "Where's the music?" And Rex said, "Mookie wasn't there to keep it professional."
That's a good burn. That's a good burn.
If I can find it, he can get one, but I don't know if I can find it. There it is.
Professionalism, not a thing here unless Mookie's around.
Words nobody has ever said for 1,000, Alex. That's
Look at you over there fabricating yourself as a good podcast host.
Fascinating myself, not
fascinating. God, yes, shit. I'm fucking it up. Damn it.
Boston wins. It's the end of the playoffs. Congratulations to the Celtics.
And I look forward to not caring about basketball again until Christmas Day.
You mean men's basketball, because you definitely care about.
Oh yeah, no, women's ball is in full force. Yeah, I just was dismissing it, yeah. Next time I worry about ball,
right.
is not until Christmas Day.
You.
But WNBA is in full force. Like, I can't look away.
Before we go WNBA, let's end this Celtics talk with the proper homage here.
Bro, that's cool. Put up 50. I have J&J putting up fucking 60 each. I'm going to rock with my guys. I got an AK and a fucking AR, and I'm ready to go crazy because the Celtics are going all the way.
The best, man. It's the best. It's the best. And ignore the fact that happened and then they lost to the Heat. Like, imagine if that was this year going into the finals. That's exactly the energy we would have gotten.
He would have. I was gonna say he would have replayed the exact same soundbite. He wouldn't have backed down or changed a single thing about it.
Oh shit! Mookie said the long version is 100 bars. Gabe pointing out, Brawny countdown time. I guess that is the next thing to look forward to before Christmas, Scott. Where's
God, the nepotism draft. I can't wait. It's gonna be so awesome. So awesome.
I'm excited to see where it ends up because that's
once again, we are all witnesses.
See, this is again where I would ask Mookie, like, where can I bet on where Brawny gets drafted and who he's going to? Because, dude, I know there's all kinds of money on him going number 1 overall. There's no way he goes number 1 overall, but
no, right? Like, no. I don't know. Trump's about to get elected. Trump's about to get elected twice. Like, what's crazier, Brawny going 1 or Trump getting elected twice after being a convicted felon? Like, I mean, what's crazier, right?
Like one of those is way crazier than the other one, but
yeah, but it's about to happen though. But that crazier thing is about to happen though. So I mean, you know, Brawny going 1 doesn't sound so bizarre. Oh fuck! I hate where we live. Holy shit!
You're just putting everything up against that. Like, well, yeah, the Ravens got new uniforms, but what's crazier? We're about to elect.
You know what? I think I will. I think I will. All the way through now and election day, it'll be like, I mean, that's crazy, but have you tested it against this? Like, it is the official litmus test is that we are about to elect a convicted felon for president for the second time. Not consecutively either. Like, he's going with an off term in between. We're like, bring it back. Fuck it.
Run it back. Like,
I love it. Yeah, Brawny going number 1? Nah, fuck it, whatever. He plays basketball, right? Sounds legit.
I remember in like high school hearing about the Roman Empire falling, and I was like, how could you, like, they were dominant. How could that empire just fall? And then I'm living in 2024. I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it now. I totally get it.
And not only do you understand, you're like, actually, both times they kind of just invited it in. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, outside forces eventually caught up. It was literally just like, oh, Mize, come on in. Let's go. Let's do this.
Kind of tired of being on top. Let's just run this shit to the ground. Let's just
right. This has had a good run, but you know it'd be cooler starting from scratch. Let's burn it all down, baby.
It's basically the country just has the intrusive thoughts of just like, what would happen if I just yanked the wheel in the I don't know. Let's find out. Yank. Ah, shit. We did it. Well, no going back now. Huh?
It's not about, it's not about the decision. The decision's behind us. Now it's about how we move forward.
Nate chiming in saying late to the party here, but hi guys, as a Lakers fan, hate to see Boston win, but for Cesar, I'm happy. I think that's how we're all feeling, Nate. Like,
yeah,
nobody really wanted to see Boston win, but we did want it for Cesar's memory.
Absolutely.
It's like this catch-22 where we're like, man, that's great. I'm so glad that like Cesar's happy, he's smiling down, but also fucking Boston, man.
I was gonna say, fuck Mark and all of those car parking fucks.
How How about Donnie? Donnie being courtside.
Oh my god, dude! They did more cut. They did. It felt like anytime I saw the game, I was like, God damn! Did I miss the part where he became Taylor Swift? Like cutaways every time they did anything. It's like I don't need to see bald-headed old ass Donnie every time they make a fucking breakaway layup. Come on, jeez.
Donnie is arguably the less racist Wahlberg, so that's a good thing.
Yes, he's got that going for him. I'm the least racist in the family, you know.
Yeah,
Put
Donnie
that on my
Wahlberg,
business
very,
card.
very weird celebrity to be like the face of the Celtics. Like, hey, we got. Fuck, is that Donnie Wahlberg? God damn it, dude! You got the guy that was in The Sixth Sense. He's back here. Remember him in that movie for a second? That was kind of cool.
Oh shit!
Rex had a question here we got to get to. He's got a sip, chug, drain, pour for us.
Oh no!
The James family, LeBron James family, the Ball family, or the Griffey family, the best family to play a sport. This is tough. This is actually kind of tough. Well, I'll jump in here first. I'm pour draining the Ball family.
Boo, boo, boo.
Hear me out. Hear me out. He said the best family to play a sport. Okay, the best person in the Ball family doesn't come close to either LeBron or Junior. Like it's not even close enough comparison. So they have to be pour drained. I know that LeVar was undefeated and never lost.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, I don't know how he ever lost between that and that fucking shimmy when he came out on First Take. Like, all I ever think about with the Ball family is that entrance. That entrance to whatever ESPN show he was coming out. Like, oh man, Go ahead, finish yours. I respect the game.
I am going to chug the James family because right now we only know that LeBron is arguably one of the top 2 best basketball players to ever play the game. We don't know what his kids are going to be like yet. We haven't seen that. I still contend that I think Bryce is going to be better than Bronny, but I guess we'll wait and see on that one. So that leaves me with sipping the Griffeys because Junior is my hero and Senior was badass as well. And I love every Father's Day them showing the highlights of them hitting back-to-back home runs and Griffey hitting his 600th and going and hugging dad. Fucking gets me every time, man. So there you go. Sipping the Griffeys, chugging the James, pour draining the Balls. Who you got, Scott?
There's no doubt that Griffey family was getting sipped. I mean, 2 very high-level players, even if Junior surpassed his father by a great amount. But father was great in his own right, so they're easy sip call. The choice here to then chug the Ball family is because
you're a fucking hater.
No, I don't. I don't have anything against. I don't have anything against
chug the Balls. Is well, pause. Pause.
No. The choice for the Balls is that I got like entertainment in more forms than one. It's like you got how horrible LeVar actually was. You got the craziness of LaMelo or Jell-O or whatever the fuck his name was. And then there's LeVar. LeVar actually ended up being the most entertaining thing to come out of that family. But it was like this whole thing, like even if they weren't the most amazing thing, like his father said, like they did, the NBA players that, were counted on and showed a little bit of success here. That, like, look, I don't know like you mentioned, I don't know what the hell Bronny's going to be. He may be a scrub. He could be the most amazing player of all time, and it could be 2 Hall of Famers. And we could be looking at this conversation 20 years laughing at the thought that, we ever chose the VAR. And I say we, but I mean me. But for now, since I don't know what Bronny's going to be, and I assume that he may just be a scrub, I mean, the VAR family has more, and the Ball family has more NBA success. And I don't think that was a Freudian slip to say the VAR family. Like that. That's really what it all boils down to, is I love me some LeVar Ball. No hate on the LeBrons either. Like, I mean, Broddy could be great, but we don't know. So again, more NBA success right now for the Ball family. I'm just going with statistics, Mike, not hate, you dick.
Joe said, "This logic is worse than my gastrointestinal tract in rural areas."
Bull. I nailed it.
Also, Tyson said, "Was it just Donnie or any other new kids?" Jordan McIntyre was also courtside during the.
Of course
the
he
final
was,
game because it's Jordan, man. He's got to be there. All right, let's shift gears here, Scott. Let's talk WNBA. And the big story this week was Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark battling it out. Chicago Sky playing the Indiana Fever. The Fever get the best of the Sky. But nobody knows what happened in the game. Nobody cares about the how the game ended, and that the Fever actually won 2 games in a row for the first time this year. And they're actually looking to gel a little bit now that they're getting to an easier part of the schedule. Nobody cares about that. All anybody cares about is that Angel Reese had a hard foul on Caitlin Clark, and woo-wee. Scott, I saw a segment on CNN about the hard foul that Angel Reese put on Caitlin Clark.
The hard foul heard around the world.
Like, what are we doing that it's literally any little thing that happens to Caitlin Clark? Every news station everywhere feels like they have to talk about. The Hollywood Reporter is out talking about like the foul on Caitlin Clark. Like all of these news outlets that have no business talking about the WNBA in any sense, like not just in this sense, in any sense, are inserting themselves into the conversation and bringing this out to, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, they were like, it's a race thing now. We can insert ourselves in this conversation because it's a race thing. What do you make of this coverage, and how long are we going to have to deal with this? Like, how long is it going to be that every time something happens to Caitlin Clark, CNN is running a story on it?
I mean, we're in for the full ride all the way through the first season because it's bled over from the college season and then the draft and right on into the WNBA regular season. So we've got this all the way through. And then I got to be honest, if you think we're going to escape it during the Olympics, you're wrong because they're going to fucking talk about this and bring this shit up in the Olympics. Like, I don't know how much women's basketball like anybody's gonna be watching, and I get the jokes, ha ha ha. But I guarantee you that at some point during the coverage of the Olympics, even if it's just the first game, at some point her name's gonna be brought up and the discussion's going to be had when she's not even fucking there. Like, that's how awesome this whole thing is, that she's created this whole fucking shitstorm. On the one hand, I feel kind of bad for her because, she hasn't asked for any of this. Like, she's just trying to fucking go out there and play ball, and, she does it at a very high level. So, I don't understand. But again, I've said before with these whole things, like, I totally get where a lot of the hatred is coming from the people that it's coming from. Like, I get having been overlooked for so long that you're just very upset that here comes this shiny new white thing and it's getting all the attention. Like, I fucking get it. Like, it's a race thing. It really fucking is. Like, it's just the opposite side of what you're used to seeing. Like, this is more akin, like, this isn't like a Jackie Robinson type thing. This is more akin to like Jeremy Lin. Like, it reminds me of the Jeremy Lin, the Linsanity that overtook the NBA for a little while, where it's just like, oh, this is a novelty and it's a crazy thing and whatnot. But eventually it'll all just fucking level out. It'll be like, oh yeah, that was the thing once.
I don't think you can call Caitlin Clark Linsanity. Like, I feel like I get where you're coming from with that comparison of, the meteoric rise that was just like a fucking rocket shot through basketball, and that's all anybody could talk about. But I feel like Caitlin Clark has a little bit more staying power.
Well, she does, but I'm saying as far as like the novelty, as far as like all the attention, we get through this first season and everything, like, everything will have been forgotten by the time we get to this time next year, right? Like, the beginning of the WNBA season next year isn't going to be as contentious, and there's not going to be all this stuff. Like, it'll still be a talker, but it won't be as front and center as it is right now.
Do you think it's so front and center because there was no offseason for Caitlin Clark? Like, she went from the national championship directly into the WNBA. There was like
there was no spotlight stop. It went from national championship to all the focus on the draft to wanting to see where the number 1 overall pick, what she was doing in the WNBA. Like, there was no time off in between. There's no break. There's no grace period. It's just boom, boom, boom. So that's what I'm saying. Once we get that final break, when the WNBA season is over, and to a much lesser extent, when the Olympics are over and that's put behind us, when there is no women's basketball being played until the college season, and then in the college season, we're all going to go back to not paying attention to women's college basketball, right? Because she's not there. So, so we've got all that time. So really, by the beginning of the next season, like we're talking about, like a year from now, things will have calmed down.
I don't know if I can handle a full year of this. I
can't. But I'm saying, like, you really only have to deal with it the rest of this, like, actual season, like, while it's being played, because nobody's going to be talking about, like, we're not going to be talking about this in fucking December. Like, we're not just going to just randomly bring up.
Think so? You don't think it's going to be no. The Fever going to draft to pair with Caitlin Clark?
No,
come on,
no, I don't
I'll put money on it right now. I guarantee that happened. As soon as March Madness starts, you goddamn right they're gonna be like, who are the Fever gonna draft to?
Well, yeah, March Madness, but I was thinking in December we're not gonna be talking about this shit. Like,
they'll be talking about it. They'll be talking about who's the best player in the women's college game now.
I think you're giving America too much credit in women's basketball and caring about women's basketball, other than this like brief moment in time.
It's taking over football, Scott. All right, I said it. There, I said it. The college game is dog shit now because of NIL and the transfer portal, and get off my lawn. And the NFL is too woke, so I'm watching WNBA and women's college basketball. That's how it has to be in my America. Scott, Rex said it's because she's trending, and that's how they get views. They're using the algorithm. I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't include a Caitlin Clark story every week for any such reason. Do you?
No. Also, make sure that the thumbnail is not Caitlin Clark and any type of question mark at the end of it. Please don't.
It's not even going to be. It's going to be like Celtics win number 18, and then a picture of Caitlin Clark with just a question mark next to her.
Greatest of all time? Question mark. Celtics win 18 with a picture of Caitlin Clark and GOAT next to it. Just, you never know.
Also, Rex got it. I couldn't get there, but he was able to get to it. Caitlin Sanity. Geez, Mike. Yeah, that's the joke that was missed there. Yes. And then Scott Tyson wants to know, would it get as much press if Caitlin Clark was getting fouled by other players who weren't white? Is it does he mean like just because it's Angel Reese that this got so much, because there was that like rivalry in college for the past 2 years between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? And I'll spin this question a different way. Do you think we get the same focus on this if it was like Sabrina Ionescu who fouled Caitlin Clark so hard, or if it was like a white player that?
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if Cameron Brink did this, we wouldn't give a shit. Like, I'm just being honest. Like the pre-packaged Reese Caitlin rivalry. Again, just what the doctor ordered if you're the WNBA, because they didn't have to do anything or try for anything. They didn't have to create anything. Boom. It just transferred right over from college into the WNBA. And when you have a situation like this, again, capitalizing off the proximity in everyone's mind, these two, had all these contentious battles in college and throughout the NCAA tournaments, and boom, here's this hard foul, which again wasn't that big of a deal, but it's their first encounter in the WNBA, and something like this happens. Ooh, like I don't blame the WNBA at all. Like, they should be promoting this. I'd be race baiting the fuck out of this. I'd be turning in, like, I'd be putting promos in black and white, like playing with your mind, like that shit. Like I'd be giving it the old timey filter, but I'd be actually like be subliminally planning, like, oh, it's in black and white. Like, this is a good versus evil. Like, I would be doing anything I fucking could to get them eyeballs and them ducats, baby. Sell out.
Sell out.
I'm just saying. I mean, because if you're the WNBA, like this is it. Like this is what you've been waiting for. You've never had an opportunity. You've never had the attention, the eyeballs, seize this fucking moment. Just play that shit up. I mean, it may be dirty politics, it may be horrendous, but fuck it. You need the money. Like I'd be like, come out here and support Caitlin. Kate, where it's a whiteout this week, but be careful. Be careful.
You can't have an Indiana Fever game that's a whiteout. You can't.
Right. I mean, it's you gotta you're towing the line, but I'm just saying. Capitalize, baby.
That's amazing. Let's shift gears here. Let's talk a little football. So it was announced this week.
Hold on real quick. That last comment by Tyson. And they should have played that shit up too. I would have. Like the Juneteenth to remember. Where were you for Caitlin versus Reese? The Juneteenth battle for freedom. Oh, the WNBA missed it. Hey, missed it an opportunity on this one. That would have been incredible. Oh, I'm here for that. I mean, if fucking Walmart can use it to brand ice cream and cookies, I feel like the WNBA can use it for a matchup. Okay, football.
Race card.
Kind of. I don't know. I don't know if that's Yes. Thank you, Tyson. My face is.
Oh my gosh. So good. Oh, fuck.
So football, huh? Why don't we get more views on this, Scott? Why
I don't know, but if I'm the WNBA marketing department, I'm circling Juneteenth next year for marketing purposes. They ain't gonna miss the boat twice on this shit.
Can't believe we fucked that up, man.
I mean, to be fair, like they didn't know where she was gonna get drafted and how this whole thing was gonna play out. So you usually see the schedule was made and all that. Like not much time to prepare. Quick turnaround, right? But next year, full court press on this. Like the minute the schedule comes out, I'd be hyping that shit up. Reese dolls and Clinton Kentaclaw, like bobblehead dolls, like we're going all the way.
Nope. Too far. You've gone too far. I can't. I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh.
Hey, look, you want us to keep talking about the WNBA? These are again. I said it might be playing dirty politics, but you got to do what you got to do, son. Get them ducats. Oh shit! But hey! Think about this. By that time, it'll be like, is this really the craziest thing? We've already elected a guy for the second time who was convicted of a felony. A Juneteenth WNBA special? This seems normal.
That's the commercial for it. It's like this Juneteenth, Reese versus Clark. This shit's crazy. We just elected Donald Trump
twice. Yeah. All right. Football, right? All right, focus. Football.
Reset. I would pay for that fucking bobblehead. I would pay some fucking money for that bobblehead. That'd be one you'd have to have in the collection. It was announced this week that the in-season Hard Knocks, there's been rumors all along that they would be following a division rather than just a single team in season. And it was revealed this week that they would be following the AFC North. So we got the Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers, all part of Hard Knocks in season this year. I don't know how to feel about this. Like,
how does this work with all of these teams? Like, I don't get it. Wait, remember when they first announced that they were going to do the very first in-season thing? And I think it was with the Colts or was it with the Bears? Either way, when we talked about the logistics of how it was going to actually work, and it's like, oh, this is going to be interesting, just the way that they produced the regular season. And now you're telling me they're going to try to spread these crews out and all this stuff out over all of the AFC North. Like, this sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Well, I feel like there's just camera crews with these teams anyways. Like there's not, it's not like they're like, all right, the Hard Knocks crew is going, like they're just getting the NFL.
Like, you think you're just getting like the in-house NFL footage? Yeah. Is that okay? And then it's just, you just having Lee talk over it. Like,
well, and then you're going to have like some practice footage, but I think the benefit of having 4 teams is you get the storyline of like the race for the division title, and you get the race, the race for the
it's still the NFL. Dicey situation.
You know what? That's how this happened. They were in a boardroom and they were like, guys, what if we like did a whole division? And somebody was like, whole division? How the hell would that work? Well, you know, you get a race for hold on. You had me at race. I'm at whole division.
Oh my goodness. Good shit. But anyway, so
I think there's storylines that they can follow through, because if you remember with that Colts one, they like kind of fell off, and then you didn't really care about the season because you're
so I get what you're saying. So they can kind of just pivot to whoever kind of pulls away and then mainly focus on them.
Yes.
Even though it starts out as, oh, here they all are, but then you just kind of focus on one as
exactly. You can shift the thing where like, okay, the Browns have trailed off. We're just not going to show them as much, and now it's a 3-team race for the division. And oh wow,
yeah. So you protect yourself.
The Ravens that are
you protect yourself from one of them just shitting the bed and being irrelevant, like that Colts thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
and
that makes total sense.
Staying power throughout the entire Hard Knocks in-season tournament, because then it's just, or the in-season shows
episodes,
focusing on whoever's making the playoffs. And
you
you also get the heartbreak of like watching a team lose and miss the playoffs, like because it's guaranteed to happen. At some point there will be a game where one of those teams is then eliminated from the playoffs and another team like secures their spot, and you get to follow all of that. Big game first episode only. Gabe, fuck you, man. Thank you very much.
Gabe coming in from the top ropes right away.
I mean, let's face it. What's really going to happen is Burrow's going to get hurt before the in-season Hard Knocks even starts.
Right, so they won't even show him ever.
Episode 1. They'll be like, all right, we're focusing on the AFC North here between the Browns, the Ravens, the Steelers, and then it'll be a quick shot of the Bengals facility, and they won't even mention their name, and then they'll just move on. Did you know the Bengals caught a stray from Jerry Jones in this NFL Sunday Ticket lawsuit?
What?
There's like an NFL Sunday Ticket lawsuit where there was a class action lawsuit from a bar in California that said that the NFL.
Yeah, no, I knew about the lawsuit, but I didn't know about this Jerry Jones Bengals thing.
Jera had to testify. Roger Goodell also testified, and on the stand, Jerry Jones said he was advocating for NFL Sunday Ticket and the fact that the revenue gets split evenly among all the teams. And he said that the pricing is fair because if he were to go out on his own and do his own TV deal, I'd make way more than the Bengals do. Like, just off the cuff on the stand, just fucking going out there firing strays at the Bengals. I mean, he's right, but still, fuck you, man. You don't have to say that on the record, dude. Like, you could say, I'll make more than a lot of the teams in the league. You don't have to single out the Bengals.
That's now like a historical record too. Like they keep all of those congressional hearing records, and so now for all time the comparison will be made from the haves and have-nots. No matter what point in history we're in, they will know that in 2024, regardless of how good the Bengals are supposed to be, they still were not in the revenue class of one. The Dallas Cowboys, not even fucking close. It's like, oh, they might have a real QB, which we haven't had here in about 20, 30 years. Still don't fucking matter. We'd still make more on a DP deal than them.
So, Scott, the in-season Hard Knocks isn't the only Hard Knocks. We've got the normal training camp Hard Knocks.
That's with the Bucks, right?
No,
it's with the Bears. No, the Bucks was last season.
We get to see Caleb Williams and the Bears and how they deal with their rookie quarterback.
How they ruin rookie quarterbacks.
Yes. But that's not the only Hard Knocks. We have another Hard Knocks that is coming out in like 2 weeks. July 2nd, Hard Knocks offseason with the Giants, where they are following the offseason up until this point. So we get to see everything that's happened with the Giants going into the draft, maybe
where they sleep in dorm rooms for training camp. Like, cool, I guess.
No, it's not even to training camp. It's all like
it's just in between.
Yeah,
it's them reporting, like just doing like regular off-season shit. Like, here's me taking my daughter to the fucking dentist. Like, got to do this stuff before the season starts because once the season starts, I don't get to have these moments. And then we got to show, and we have another reason to show these fucking annoying ass kids for these players. But god damn it.
3 different versions of Hard Knocks. We've gone too far. We've hard knocked too much. There's too much. No more knocking.
There's going to be so many sisters of players that are horrible on TV and family members that I can make fun of because they can't speak proper English. Like, good God, this is way too much Hard Knocks. You'd have to. If we were still doing the Hard Knocks raps, like I would need a whole goddamn team to keep up with this shit. This is fucking ridiculous. The in between season shit is way too far. Like, I don't need to know what any of these fucking guys are doing right now when there's nothing happening.
You remember how pumped we were for the in season when they first announced it, and then we saw it and we were like,
yeah, we were like, this could go away.
This is complete trash. Like, what a terrible TV show. But now it's Hard Knocks starting July 2nd. It's a 5-part series. So that's going to take us right up until Hard Knocks training camp. So it's going to go from the Giants, transition right into the Bears, then a little bit of a break, then the AFC North Hard Knocks in season. It's too much. I can't do all the Hard Knocks.
God.
I'll be watching all of them. I'll watch every single one of them because I'm a glutton for punishment, and the NFL knows what they're doing. They've got me hooked. I can't shake it. I can't shake the drug. And I'm going to listen to Liev Schreiber, and I'm going to be like, this fucking guy, it's so crazy to me that's Liev Schreiber. Every time I hear that voice. And then
I know, it throws me off. I can't remember. The first time it actually clicked. The name, the voice, and who he was. Like, the actor, like, all of those things kind of came together. It was one of those, like, oh my God, like, all these years, what? Because I just had it in my mind that the voice just fit this really old man, and I never questioned it otherwise. It was just,
you're like, that's the guy from Scream? Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, just real extra fucking random, like. That was the bit actor and like all of these things where he's just kind of like mostly background fodder, but like I know who he is. He was that guy actor.
You mean to tell me Ray Donovan he got the voice for Hard Knocks? Really? That's crazy. Shubes is saying, if he remembers correctly, the Saquon contract negotiations are a big part of the Giants offseason Hard Knocks. Yeah, I would see that. That's probably a storyline you're going to see is that going on. Look, it's going to be a lot. Rex saying wasn't Liev Schreiber also Sabretooth?
That I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Joe says yes. Joe Hall says yes. So I'll trust Joe on that one, but I don't know. Okay, so there's your Hard Knocks update. 2 weeks. We get 2 weeks, and then we got all the Hard Knocks. We get Hard Knocks after Hard Knocks after Hard Knocks. I can't wait. It's just gonna be we're just snorting Hard Knocks throughout this.
HBO needs a promo that they bring back Bryan Cranston, or well, not bring him back, but they bring him back. They bring in Bryan Cranston, and he does the "I'm the one who hard knocks," and then they flash all of these fucking versions of Hard Knocks. They get, see, that's a fucking winning promo. You had jokes, but that fucking shit would slap. You'd be like, oh goddamn, I'm in.
I was like, where is he going with this?
Yeah, but fucking Bryan Cranston saying, I'm the one who hard knocks, and then they flash a bunch of the different shots of that shit. You'd be like, oh shit, I'm ready to watch Hard Knocks anything. Hard Knocks off season, Hard Knocks wives, let's fucking go.
Oh shit, that's amazing. Yeah, that's great. All right, let's talk college football here. Les Miles is in the news because he is suing LSU. Scott, do you know why Les Miles is suing LSU? Do you have any idea why he might be suing that school?
Because he was a huge fucking disappointment. And all those years they wanted anybody else but him. Other than that, no.
Not national title there, so I don't know if you could call him a huge...
Well, no. I'm saying like it was one of those things though, where even though he won that national title, they always just sat there and grumbled. Yeah, but he ain't Nick Saban. Like they were running him out of a town no matter what. Like he got the black coach treatment. Like he was Tubby Smith on the white version. Like he was the Caitlin Clark of college football coaches. I never thought about that until just now. They ran that white motherfucker out. They always wanted somebody else.
Well,
that's what he should be suing for. All those years I wasn't truly loved.
Not for being the college football coach version of Caitlin Clark. He is suing because back in 2023, the school offered to vacate 37 wins.
Wait, what? Hold on. Gabe just said Willie Mays died?
What?
No.
Gabe, if this is that's not cool, man.
No.
Rex is saying he didn't see the story yet, so
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it yet either. And I got like 8 billion.
You would get the notification,
and I do see the notification that Aaron Judge left the game because he was hit by a pitch.
That got mentioned earlier. Rex brought that up.
Yeah, I saw him mention that. And that's so sad. Anyway, go ahead.
So the team agreed to vacate wins from when Les was there. 37 wins got vacated. That was in the wake of a scandal that involved a former offensive lineman whose father received more than $180,000 thanks to a booster who used a children's hospital to embezzle funds to this guy. Anyways, LSU was like, look, we'll vacate the wins, NCAA. And they did that normal thing that like schools always do to
fuck. There it is. Damn it.
I can't make fun of this lawsuit now. No one.
I know, and this is the 3rd week in a row that some breaking baseball news has happened the day after Backwards K.
That's how you know Backwards K is onto something, man. That happened to us all the fucking time. We used to get that. It was as soon as we signed off, there'd be some. Like, do we go back on? Like, should we? Fuck, that sucks, man. That's a tough one.
No.
Should I keep talking about Les Miles?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I love Willie, but he was 93, so like, I mean, you know, he
lived a life.
And he got to see. He lived long enough to see Caitlin Clark and Reese play in the WNBA, even if it wasn't on Juneteenth. He lived long enough to see that matchup, and so I feel like that was it.
It wasn't on Juneteenth. He missed it, so it actually worked out well. He got to see it.
That's what Willie was waiting for. He's like, I've broken through all these barriers and accomplished a lot of things in my life, but there's one last thing that I need to see before I go. R.I.P. Willie.
because LSU vacated those 37 wins or whatever.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a high number.
Les Miles' winning percentage went from 600 to 597 or something like that. Like he was above 600. Now he's down to 597. In order to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as a coach, you have to have a winning percentage of 600 or better. So those vacated wins have taken Les Miles out of the running to be eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame. And he is now suing LSU, saying that their irrational and unfair self-inflicted punishment has cost him a chance at the College Football Hall of Fame. Petty levels are high on this one, Scott. This is amazing to do this. Like, I always laugh when they're like, oh, we're taking those records off. Like when Coach K hurts his back and he's like begging them to remove the records from his record. Like, this is fantastic. Now I get why it's all for College Hall of Fame rankings and standings. I never thought that you had to have a certain winning percentage in order to be considered. Les is so pissed. And the best part about it is I feel like this lawsuit could get thrown out real quick because LSU could be like, hey, Les, after you left us, you went to Kansas, right? How'd that team end up? Oh, you only won 3 games that year? Yeah. Your Honor, we rest our case. If he had won 5 at Kansas, we wouldn't be in this predicament. So it's on him. Where does this rank on the petty scale for you, Scott?
Pretty high up there. But I love that. I think my favorite part about this whole thing is coaches and players and just all of us in general. We all try to be humble and we all try to like pretend like we don't care about accolades or oh shucks or gee, I never did it to make it into the Hall of Fame and that's not why I coached. I did it for the love of the game and it was about the kids. And here's Les Miles like, nah, fuck that shit. I want my wins back so I can get in the Hall of Fame. This shit's about me. So I fucking love that he's just out here admitting what we all fucking do. Like, we fake the funk. We pretend like we're in it to win it, and it's all this team game. And at the end of the fucking day, nah, fuck that shit. I want my accolades back. So I'm suing. And then in the most American way possible, he's taking the motherfuckers to court and suing them. He's like, you know what? If I can't get in the Hall of Fame, I'll compensate myself handsomely. So one way or the other, he's going to come out winning, right? Like, he's like, I'm going to get this money. I'm going to get them wins back and get in the Hall of Fame. This is a no-lose proposition. I mean, I suppose that the judge could just throw the whole fucking thing out, and then he's screwed out on his ass with nothing. But in my calculation, all the way, this is the exact same thing I would do. Petty as fuck. And you might as well, right? Like, what has he got to lose? Like, absolutely nothing. Either tomorrow he wakes up and he's still not in the Hall of Fame, or he doesn't have all the money from LSU. Or maybe by some chance he wins and he gets what he wants. Right. Ooh, the chance of
getting. You were doing a Kermit the Frog voice there. Why did you do Kermit for your?
Oh, I don't know. It was just my like fake, phony, like I give a shit about society voice, but really like
I hope Les Miles here.
Yeah, like I know. It just came. I don't
know. He also wants to know what Lou Holtz would say about this. Lou's gonna be disappointed in this one. You don't go and take this one to court. That's something you just gotta earn it on the field, okay? It's not something for the coach to decide. It's for you to go out there and earn it. You really want to be a Hall of Fame coach? Here's what you do. You go back to the game. That's what you do. You get yourself another job. And you get those wins the right way, the honest way, because that's what Lou Holtz would do. If I had to right now, if I wasn't already in the Hall of Fame, I'd go get a job right now at some Division III school, rack up a couple of wins, retire, and get myself into the Hall of Fame. Because Lou Holtz does things the right way, Les. Okay, that's what we do. We don't go to the courts. We don't let a judge decide. We just go out there and we solve it on the field. That's how it's done here in this country. Also, Trump 2024. That's what Lou.
Also,
34 felonies really isn't a lot. If you think about it, it's not that much.
And really, 34 felonies. It's not that crazy when you consider we just selected.
I mean, let's think about this logically. Like, if he had he's got 34 felonies now, but when he becomes president, he's just gonna expunge his own records, and then he's got 0. So it's like you're voting for somebody with 0 felonies. Okay? So it's really not that big of a deal.
Oh my god!
Why'd he just put up a skull emoji?
Oh my god, it's so good.
Here's your other college football-ish news. Really, it's college football because it doesn't. I mean, it'll impact the other sports, but this is all college football driven. The Big 12, the lowest of the Power 4 that are remaining, are trying to figure out how to compete with the big boys. Right? You got the SEC and the Big 10. They got all the cash. They got these huge TV deals. The Big 12 is kind of like second tier now. They're like, at least we're not the Pac-12. Like, that's where the Big 12 is sitting. They're like, we at least survived, so we're in it still. We can make the playoffs. They are now in talks with Allstate for a potential naming right for the conference, where basically Allstate would pay them $30 to $50 million annually, and get the conference would be called like the Allstate 12 or like the big All-State Conference. Like, they're inserting a sponsor's name into the conference because that's where we are now. They want to sit here and bitch and moan about NIL and players being able to transfer, and they're selling their fucking conference name? Are you kidding me? Like, oh, the downfall of college sports is going to be when these kids can make money. Yeah, you know why? Because then the schools go out and whore themselves out to get more money to make up for the money that they can't steal from the kids anymore. This is complete bullshit, Scott. And I swear to God, if we end up having like the Big 10, and it's even worse than the legends and leaders, because now it's like the marathon gas Big 10 conference, and then it's like fucking Bucky's SEC. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
Although I'm here for the Bucky's SEC, that would be fucking hilarious. The Bucky's SEC would be funny.
What do you make of them whoring out their name? $50 million annually.
As good as I always feel about these corporate sponsorships when they take over shit like this, like, it feels dirty, but also, you know, get that money, baby. Dirty politics. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Like, I can't sit here and advocate for one and not advocate for the other, so I guess take that money however you can get it. So Bucky's presents the SEC championship game. It is.
Not even the championship game, just like the Bucky's SEC conference. Like, that's like basically, you know, like,
like this just a straight name for the whole ass conference.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Actually, I
State 12 or like the big All-State conference. Like, that's what.
Oh, I missed that part of it. I'm in. I think that this is like, because look, as much as I want the chaos and I want the playoffs and everything, that you might as well embrace like how crazy it's gotten, really, right? Like, because even I couldn't anticipate, like, yes, let's open the flood, let's open the floodgates of the NIL, let's pay all these players. Also, let's go to 12 teams. Like, they're realigning conferences. Fuck it, it'll all figure itself out. Like, it's cliche to say, but I mean, it really is the fucking Wild West of everything that's going on within college sports. And I'm okay with it to a certain point, but since it's so crazy, you might as well do something like that, right? Like the Bucky's SEC. Like, I mean, you imagine that winning being the inaugural winner of the Bucky's SEC championship.
I love that. Like,
imagine if that was the reason that you had Saban step away if he was like, I saw the writing on the walls and there's no way I could win sponsored leagues and divisions and all that shit. Like,
I wasn't about to raise the Bucky's SEC championship trophy at the end of the season. So I just dipped. No, I love that for the SEC, especially because the SEC teams are known to like chant the conference when any team wins a championship. So like you have Bama fans chanting SEC when Georgia wins because they're like, well, it makes us look better because we're in the same conference as them. So I just want all of those fans just having to be like, Bucky's, Bucky's, Bucky's. That rains down on the national championship game is the Bucky's chant. What the fuck are we doing, man?
It's gotten out of hand.
It's the hypocrisy for me. That's what does it for me. I just hate that, like, you're going to bitch and moan about these players making money and then turn around and sell your conference name for $50 million. Like, come on, man. That's fucking unreal. And it's all because they're going to have to pay players directly. Like, that's coming. That's happening. So they're trying to figure out any revenue stream they can.
Yeah, I was just going to say they're trying to milk anything and everything, which, again, I'm not actually mad about. Like, I mean, get the fucking money, right? Like, whatever you got to do, sell out for it.
Sell out. Tyson said the Summer's Eve Big 12. Rexamillion said Adam and Eve's Pac-12. Dave said the two Pac-12. That's a good one.
I'm in for that one.
That's a very good one. Tyson said the Pornhub SEC. Rex said they should actually have to play a game in a Bucky's. And then he chimed in with Bet MGM 12. And Tyson hit us with,
oh, what about the Brazzers Big 10? Every time before they say it, don't. I think all of a sudden you turn in on this one, right? Like we joked about the bowl sponsorships and it was all but imagine if it's an entire season or multiple seasons that they sign with these fucking things, and it's ridiculous shit like that. Like, you've got things that, like, people that come in, like, all of a sudden the naming rights for Miami Stadium don't seem that cool. Like, if you can name a whole ass conference that somebody has to call out every week for years on end. I feel like this is an opportunity for companies to get their names out there.
Can you imagine Gus Johnson tuning, like, you flip on Fox and it's Gus Johnson that's like, welcome to the Brazzers Big Ten Championship.
Or just a random Brazzers Big Ten Thursday. Like, your Big Ten Friday night, one of them Friday Night Lights games, it's the Brazzers under the big lights.
Featuring Purdue and Rutgers.
This, you know what? I feel like this has potential. See,
don't forget the logo on all.
Yes. I mean, we've talked this and we've workshopped this into something that we can live with. And
I'm back on board.
I was gonna say this has legs.
I'm back on board. I can get behind this one now. No pun intended. Let's switch gears here. Didn't feel right. I didn't feel right about that.
I didn't, but it was forced in there. Well done.
Yeah. Also, there's another one. Let's talk baseball.
Here's the pitch. Oh, shit.
Oh, man. All right, Scott, you talked about it a little bit on Backwards K last night because I brought it up. The Jell-O shot challenge at the College World Series. So if you don't know what this is, there's a bar in Omaha that sells Jell-O shots for $5 each, and they keep track of the fans that buy the Jell-O shots. So they keep a tally, and the teams in the College World Series, then they have like a little contest at the restaurant at the bar for who can buy the most Jell-O shots, which fan base can buy the most Jell-O shots. Last year, LSU set the record with like 68,000. Like, it's an absurd number that they set. But Tennessee is now trying to give them a run for their money. Tennessee is leading this year. They're almost to 10,000 Jell-O shots, and they are over that now because a company in Knoxville, Weigel's, who I guess it's like a grocery store, gas station, Bucky's kind of thing, I would assume. They placed an order at Rocco's for 50,000 $1,000 worth of Jell-O shots. And Rocco's will be sending them to Weigel's in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Weigel's will then be distributing them to rewards members, where they will say, here, you've earned a Jell-O shot from the College World Series. So they ordered like 10,000 shots and have had them shipped back to Tennessee. I feel like this is cheating, Scott. I feel like this shouldn't count for your total. If a foreign company is coming in or shipping the Jell-O, you need to be there. You need to be in the bar. You need to pay your $5. You need to do your Jell-O shot. Not this bullshit of like, we're going to pay you $50K and you ship us a whole bunch of Jell-O shots. This should not count. If this does end up breaking the record, it's asterisk. There is no way that this should stand, Scott.
No, I 100% agree with you. It's got to be ordered, standing there, taken. None of this pre-arranged fucking. No, there's no type of deal that you can get on this. This record has to have some sanctity to it, and it has to be ordered in the bar, moment of, day of, in person, and like that's how it has to go. Like. There's too much behind this record. I only learned about this record 24 hours ago. And I'm like, how in the world did I not know that this fucking existed? But there's no way that I'd be like ready for somebody to just take it down on some technicality. No, fuck that shit.
Not cool. It still doesn't put them even close, though. Like, I think this barely takes them
right.
to 40,000. So they still have like 40,000 more to go to catch up to LSU.
Which is insane, but at the same time, you still don't want anybody to be like, oh, it's a modern day record. No, this is no record. This is bullshit. This is fake.
I don't know how they did it, but
it's fake news.
Apparently, Tennessee fans have used this in typical college sports 2024 fashion. They have said, listen, any Tennessee fan that buys the shot, they're not paying $5, they're paying $10. We're going to buy the shots for $10. $5 goes to Rocco's and the charities that they support. The other $5, that's going to go to an NIL. So all of these Tennessee shots that are being taken, they're also paying $5 to an NIL fund to then get recruits to come play at Tennessee. They have tainted the Jell-O shot competition, Scott. I don't know what to make of any of this. I'm disappointed. I'm disheartened. It's not. This isn't the America I want my kids to grow up.
No, I don't like that there's two like fuckery stories going on with Jell-O shots in general. Like, how often do we get to talk about Jell-O shots and stories and it's people trying to goose the numbers? Get fucked with this shit. like 2 in 1 week? That's real fucking irritating. Like, is there nothing holy? Like, it's crazy, right? But it's not as crazy as the idea that we're about to name a fucking villain, a fucking president for the second time. So there's that, like, right? Like, if somebody told you probably like, 10, 15 years ago, like this story about the fucking numbers with the Jell-O shot, you'd be like, wow, that's the craziest shit ever. And in 2024, you're like, that barely registers. Like, that sounds pretty normal.
He's just going to expunge the record. Stop looking at it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It will be, say it with me, expunged.
Yeah, I need Lou to say expunged more often. That's a new word in Lou's repertoire regularly.
One word for Lou to bust out, expunged. A lot of syllables to trip over there. The other story that broke after Backwards K went off the news, we talked obviously about Willie Mays earlier, and that story breaking now and ruining Scott now having to wait a week to talk about that on Backwards K. The other one,
which is going to be amazing too. Oh, by the way, Willie Mays died a week ago. We'd like to pass on our condolences a week later. Cool. There's no way to make that sound like timely and like not shitty. It's like awesome. But also can't be like, thanks for dying at an untimely time, Willie Mays.
You couldn't wait a little bit longer for our news cycle time, Willie? Come on, man.
Yeah, you couldn't wait till next Monday to pass away, you selfish prick. Yeah, not a good look. So,
well, the other story that came out, Scott, is that MLB has announced that in the AAA league going forward, beginning on the 25th. They are going to an all challenge system with the ABS, indicating that is likely the path when inevitably the quote unquote robot umpires make their ways to the majors, which they've said is like, Rob has said it's like a year out at least. But they are basically indicating that what they are going to do is there will be an automatic ball strike visual, and the umpire will make calls, and if a player disagrees, they can challenge the call. The umpire would get the robot telling them whether it was a ball or a strike, and then the call is either overturned or it stands right then and there. They've changed the numbers of how many challenges a team gets. They've tried everything from like 2 to 6. They said 6 is a good number to have, and if you win the challenge, you get to retain the challenge. But it sounds like the challenge system is what we're going to end up seeing when robot umpires eventually replace the likes of CB Buckner. How do you feel about it, Scott? How do you feel about the challenge system being the way that they're going?
I don't know, man. Like, it feels like half-assing it, right? Like, either we're going to get all the calls right or not. It kind of feels like the replay system. They're like, hey, we finally got replay. Everybody can stop complaining about the fact that we can see blown calls. But then it's like, oh, but it's within this challenge system. And if you run out of challenges and there's blown calls, then fuck you. Like, the blown calls still stand. So that's what I feel like with this, where it's just like, okay, so we're not getting rid of like the human element, and that's cool. Like, I am one of the people that's like, I really want an umpire. Like, I don't want just this robotic thing where there's no ump standing back there. There's just an ump back there, but he's just for show because he's not really making the calls. Like, I do want that human element, but I don't like the idea that he's back there calling these, and the only way that he gets checked on if he blew a call is if you use one of these numbered challenges, and then you run out of these numbered challenges, and then the ump is just free to blow the calls for us of the game. Like, do we want to get it right, or do we want to get it right?
Well, I guess the thing would be like it's going to force you to challenge on just those egregious calls, those egregious misses.
I
like,
know, but that's but again, it's like we have the technology. Fucking get it right. Like, it shouldn't be. Well, they didn't challenge, or yeah, they did challenge, but this reason, and so they don't have enough. Like, I don't want there to be rules to getting it right. You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand that they're trying to make it so that it's not just bogging it down, but like either go all in and get it right and just have robots calling it all. And it's like, well, there's no questioning it because boom, that's a strike. No matter if you're watching this game in Seattle at 9:00 at night on the West Coast, or you're watching it at 3:00 in the afternoon in fucking Baltimore. Like, it was a strike because the robot umps got it right. Like, I don't want there to be, well, in this game it was because they ran out of challenges, and so
but
this game got
you can't have
up.
it both ways. Like, you got it. I don't like the idea of fully robot umpires. I don't like that idea. I like the idea of having an umpire back there calling balls,
right,
and I like being able to check that umpire. But you do have to put limits on that, because otherwise it becomes a gamesmanship thing, right? Imagine a batter uses his timeout because he only gets the one timeout, uses his timeout in an at bat, and then fouls a couple off, needs to take a breather, and instead is just like, I want to challenge that one. I think that was a ball. Like, it's building in, and it becomes like this gamesmanship thing. Like, you need to be able to challenge and have repercussions for challenging and missing. So I don't hate it. They just have to find the right number. Like, 6 seems like a lot of challenges that you're essentially just missing on. Because remember, if you challenge and the call is overturned in your favor, you don't lose that challenge. So that's 6 missed like times where you're like, that was a ball, and the robot's like, no, fuck you, that's a strike. It's like, oh, okay. Wait, that one was a ball. No, that's a strike too. Well, fuck, man, that's 2. That was a ball. Nope, that's a strike too. That's 3 of them. Like, they get 6 of those. They get 2 outs worth of bad challenges. That's a lot of bad challenges.
But I mean, when you think about it per game, though, like you're sitting there doing it, and that's like 1 at bat. Like, I get it. Where if it's just like 3 blown calls in a row per at bat, it'd be, wild if somehow you challenged them all and they all got overturned or they all were upheld or whatever. But you got to remember that most likely there's not that many. Or if you're Major League Baseball and if you're the umpires, you're hoping that there's not 6 times a fucking game that we got to question. That's my thing, though. Like, there's 6 times that you think that you're blowing calls. I'm guessing that they didn't pull that number out of thin air. They probably were like, look, this is like the average amount of blown calls in a game or questionable calls or whatever. Like, they probably did some math to get to that number 6. And I'm just like, well, if you determine that's that number, what about the games when there are more than 6, right? Because it's an average, so that means right. So like those games where there's 15 fucking blown calls, like, you know, every CB Buckner game, you're like, oh shit, well, we know we're gonna hit the max and then more. Like,
that's my point, though. You challenge those CB Buckner calls and they're getting overturned, and you're not losing your challenge. Like, it would take 6 times for you to be wrong and CB Buckner to be right. How many times in a game do you think that happens where you are wrong?
Yeah, probably not more than 6.
Buckner is right. Exactly. Like, you can be CB Buckner can be wrong all day, and you can challenge every single call, and if it's overturned,
Miller for 3. Oh, he backed it in. We're going to overtime.
Sorry, I never get to be the one to do it, so.
I was scared for a second. I was like, what happened?
Go ahead.
But the point being, you are not going to be wrong more times than CB Buckner.
That's a good point. I will agree with you that it could be this it's seemingly unlimited amount of challenges where it's just like, damn. And CB's like, wow, I'm really having a fucking night here. I'm sorry. It's like, that's what we've been saying for fucking ever, dude. That's what we've been saying forever.
Did you see the report that part of the reason why Angel retired is because of the harassment from the online community? Bullying works, everybody. That's what
I did not see that, but I did say that when we talked about the entire thing, that I'm like, well, I kind of feel bad because they do see this shit and they're human. Like, not a real surprise that's a contributing factor in his stepping away, is that there's a lot of people, like I people that I know that barely watch baseball knew who fucking Hernandez was. Like, that says a lot. So again, don't be that bad at your job, though. Sorry.
Very true. Now that we're in overtime, let's talk some hockey.
But hey, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
By the way, Rex said you need a broadcast Emmy or an ESPY for that drop, Scott. That was
I'll take either.
Drop. Scott, the cup seemed like it was coming back to the US of A.
No, it still is.
Then they went to Canada and got smashed.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly.
Now they're back in Florida and they're losing 3-1 currently, man. The
cup is still coming back to the good old US of A. This is just delaying the inevitable. It's fine. I mean, you know, the Celtics took their foot off the gas for one game. Like, it's whatever.
There's now 2 games that they've
okay, but is this game over, bitch?
It's not over. You're right about that.
So let's not say 2.
Unnecessary. That's
okay. Sorry, I that was a little aggressive. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I thought I was talking to Mookie for a second. I'm sorry.
Thank you. All right. In that case, that is warranted. All right. So, do you think, Scott, after Bob gets benched and the Oilers win 8-1, how much of that is lingering in the back of the Panthers' heads coming back home and now trailing 3-1 to the Oilers here on their home ice?
Again, it's just a matter of taking your foot off the gas. You know how it is when you go up 3-0. You're like, oh shit, we got this shit in the bag. This ain't no thing. Canada ain't shit. We're about to bring the cup back to the US of A. And then you have a night off. All right, one time thing happens. I bet you they end up winning the cup tonight. And tomorrow I have to wait a whole fucking week to be able to talk about the fact that I was right and that they won it the same night that we're talking about them potentially losing it. And you were wrong when you said twice that they fucked up.
Would you bet your eyebrows on that?
No, hell no, I'm not crazy. But I'm just saying that's the most likely outcome here, right? I enjoy my eyebrows way too much to make a foolish bet like that. Like,
You fucking coward. I knew you didn't believe in the Panthers. I knew it. You were just saying shit. You coward.
you're goddamn right. I mean, shit. I haven't bet my eyebrows on the Braves. I'm certainly not about to bet it on the fucking Panthers. Fuck that.
I did not know this, Scott, and I don't know if I'm sure you knew it. You're a giant hockey fan. But Gabe said that Tatum and Kachuk could win titles in the same year. They were middle school friends. So Jason Tatum and Matthew Kachuk apparently middle school friends, and both potentially winning their respective sports' highest honors in the same week. What do you make of that?
Fuck Jason Tatum, but good for Kachuk.
Did Tatum text Kachuk?
He probably did. Yeah. We got you. We got us. Or whatever bullshit. That was the other thing that I kept thinking during the entire run was God. Just the Jason Tatum and fucking Kobe connection are just they gotta win, and I want them to win for Cesar, but it's gonna validate his bullshit. I'm surprised. Like, I didn't see anything, and I'm sure it exists, but he's probably saying, "Oh yeah, it's just through Kobe that I got this. I felt him out there with me." Some lame shit like that.
Oh shit. Scott, who's your choice right now for the Conn Smythe? Who you got winning that in the NHL playoffs?
I don't know, man. It's been a tough series for Edmonton, so I don't know. There's been a lot of ass kicking going on the Panther side. I'm gonna have to give it to Kachuk though, probably just because might as well make the connection with the Boston thing. Just go on ahead and give it to him. It's a good story, man. I'm going for the story.
Okay, follow-up question. Can you name another Panther besides Kachuk?
Sure, Montour. You got any other brain busters for me?
Tyson, I think rightfully pointing out that if the Panthers win, it's either Bobrovsky or Sasha Barkov. So either one of those. But he did say, you're right, Brandon Montour is a Florida Panther. So you were able to name.
I nailed one.
Florida Panther.
Got it.
Why did you pick Kachuk? Is that just because that's the last name you heard? So that's
yeah, no. The Kachuk thing was like, and then the only other name that I knew was Montour. Like seriously, that was legit the only. I had one thing in the tank, and I'm like, there's only one other player that I know. So if you had asked anything more extensive or that wasn't just like a generic blanket question, I was fucked.
That's amazing. All right, tune in next week to find out if Scott gets to gloat about being right, calling the Panthers winning this, even though they're down 3-1 in the second period with 9 minutes to go in the game in the second period. Real quick, we're gonna end this show. I know nobody likes this, but trust me on this one. It's time for a little soccer talk. The Euros are happening right now, Scott. Euros 2024, big tournament over in Europe. And I saw a level of smack talk this week that I am a huge fan of. So Albania was playing Italy, and Albanian fans were in the streets talking shit to Italian fans. They're all decked out in their gear. The Italian fans are all decked out in their gear. And the Albanian fans grabbed pasta noodles and just started breaking them in the faces of Italian fans.
As if that ate to their core. Oh, that's good.
Just dropped to his knees and was like, "No!" as they did it. Oh, I laughed so hard. It's so amazing.
That's amazing.
The trash talk that soccer fans come up with. They also did this. There was another Austria was playing France, and they were breaking baguettes in the face of French fans. So it is not just like a full-on food fight over in Europe during the Euros 2024. Scott, where does this rank for you in terms of trash talk? Because it's up there for me.
That is petty level 10. I mean, I love that. Can we start this tradition here? Like, could you imagine you're just like going up against Pittsburgh and you're just wiping your ass with the Permanente brothers or whatever? Like, I need this here for just food places in these cities and like just local rivalries. Why haven't we thought about this before? Like, it got violent, but just desecrating food should always be the thing, because clearly, like, Italians would never take anything more seriously than like, oh my god, you're breaking pasta. Like, could you imagine just pouring out just mounds of just entire fucking vats of pasta sauce? Or just like, fuck off Italy. Look at this shit.
You just get like a plate of noodles and you're just pouring Prego on it, and the Italians are like, "No, what are you doing?"
Seriously, that I like this as a new form of fighting, a new way to have a rivalry is to just shit on the person's food loves.
It's great. Soccer fans are amazing, man. It's so good. All right, let's talk about these beers that we were drinking tonight and rate them on Cesar scale, dog or no dog. Scott, what Frankenstein concoction did you come up with tonight, and was it a dog?
Look, I was Frankensteining Taft's and only Taft's collaboration with myself. Yeah, exactly.
4-1 by the way.
Well, it's fine. It's gonna make that comeback that much more epic. Anyway, I had Taft's collaboration with Frisch's, their strawberry pie ale, mixed with just their raspberry sorbet ale. This was a Scott Kaiser and Taft's collaboration. Raspberry sorbet, strawberry pie, fucking mixture, delicious. 100% dog. The sweetness, the tartness, everything that you would love about a fruit beer mixed together. Seriously. I like legit. I think that Taft should find a way to mix this and call it something else and package it, because they would be fucking on to something.
I love it. I love it. Also, 4-2 Edmonton. Evan Rodriguez.
See?
You just got one back. Tonight. Oh, sorry. Rex chiming in. He was drinking gin and juice. It was a DO double G.
Hell yeah.
I was drinking Dad Pops. It was the beer that we helped make. We poured these hops in. We fucking cleaned out the grains. We put in.
If it tastes like bucket, that's because of me.
I burned some arm hair pouring in some hop into this because the steam was so fucking hot. It's everything I wanted it to be. 7.3% deliciousness, bitter. My brother loves the tagline of this one for us, Scott. It's kind of bitter with fruity notes, which is just like us.
That's solid.
That's where this beer hits. I love it. Dad Pop's available at Deadlow Brewing right now. Get it before it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. We don't know when he's going to brew another one with us. Scott, you know what this was?
It was a show.
This is a show. Before we hit the music, though, one more time to celebrate the Celtics winning the NBA Finals. Look back at how excited Cesar would have been if he were on the show with us right now. This is just a taste of what we would have been getting tonight.
Bro, that's cool. Put up 50. I have J&J putting up fucking 60 each. I want to rock with my guys. I got an AK and a fucking AR, and I'm ready to go crazy because the Celtics are going all the way.
Fucking love that kid's energy, man. I love it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a really good fucking time. Old school throwback. I don't know what happened to Coop. I guess we should probably check on him and make sure he's okay. Go home. Maybe he'll be back on the show. I don't know if I'm going to invite him back after how he behaved in the comment section. He might need a little time out. We'll see.
Oh, snap. Got him.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend. If you've got a friend that you think would love the show, would like all the jokes, would think this is some really goofy, fun stuff, hit that share button. Tell them to check out the episode and get them on board, because it's the only way we're going to grow if you guys help us out. Be sure to follow the show at Crafty Sports. We're on X, Instagram, TikTok. Join the Facebook group. It's basically the show comment section come to life. So go hit that up. Tons of funny stuff in there. Got a Belly Up Sports, bellyupsports.com. Go sub, rate, review all of the podcasts on the Belly Up Sports Media Network. Go check out the YouTube channel there. Tons of great content on bellyupsports.com. We will see you all next week. Cheers, everybody.
I'm like Cameron. I'm about to go get some cheeks.
Poor Mookie. Cesar, you never let go.